Hey, it's me, ProJared. Welcome back to Deathgate. Hey, you guys having a good time? I'm having a really good time. I know this series wasn't like gonna get a whole lot of views, but man, I've been personally really into this. Like the voice acting of everyone is really good. The world building is really cool. It's just a cool setting. Every time, like the game isn't so impossibly difficult that you have to do a bunch of bullshit to try to win. And anytime I do figure something out, I just feel really, really smart and good about myself. I mean, there is like a little bit of memory here, but I'm pretty sure we're getting towards the point where stuff is going to be new for me. I'll let you guys know. Anyway, yeah, I just want to start by saying thanks for watching. I'm having such a good time, and I appreciate you being here, commenting, liking the video, and also enjoying it. Let's go in this hole. Whoop! Oh. The dog stays behind, bristling and growling at the tunnel. The air in this small, hidden cavern is heavy and thick. Something happened here, something very evil. Oh no, evil. Hey, a book. You take the spell book? Read the spell book. Necromancy! Hell yeah. Let it be known by any who would read this book, who would learn of the dark practice of necromancy, that it is forbidden. Let the reader do so at the peril to his soul and to those of his brethren. Yeah. This tome is intended for information's sake only. He who disregards this warning and undertakes to practice this discipline has committed a crime against his race and, at this time, a crime punishable by death by order of the Sartan High Council, which is redundant necromancy. If this warning strikes you as too harsh, you are obviously not familiar with the after effects of this art. Simply put, for every person brought back from death, another of his race shall die untimely? Whoa. This spell is tantamount to murder. Ah, murder. Therefore, it is treated as such. Necromancy is literally death magic. It can be used to draw back the spirit of the dead and force it to inhabit the body it has rightfully vacated. This does not bring the dead back to life. Instead, the body loses its ability to feel and heal its wounds. Eventually, even the best kept corpse will be useless. Countless accidents and daily wear will eventually exhaust its potential. And the spirit never quite grasps what has happened. It exists in a state of constant confusion. In its own mind, it is reliving its past. It replays events that it has experienced despite different environments and the lack of other players and props. I like the concept that with necromancy, in order to bring someone back to undead, some rando of your own race just also dies. Some lose contact with this world entirely and live only in their created reality of the past, but that is an extreme case. Most spirits can understand and communicate with the living. This is their only benefit. Resurrected corpses obey the living as well as they can, given their mental and physical limitations. In a situation where the living cannot function at peril to life or health, a corpse can perform admirably. Necromancy was discovered by accident. A failed experiment to uncover the soul's destination after death unexpectedly provided the basis for resurrection. No one understands precisely what the spell does. The spell's results are understood, but where are we drawing the spirit from? What are we consigning it to? Why does another person have to die? And why only from the same race? These questions will have to remain unanswered, as all experiments involving the use of the spell has been prohibited. The spell itself is as follows. Just leave the spell laying around the book, and now it's mine? This text should serve only to remind that the practice of necromancy has been condemned. By forgetting the art and its consequences, we risk that the future generations will unwittingly follow our footsteps, rediscover the discipline, and repeat our mistakes. The look upon this text as knowledge, pure and simple. Knowledge never kills or destroys, except in the hands of those who would misuse it. Okay, but I have learned necromancy, so that's cool. Hey, a robe. Take it. Uh-oh. Your fingers touch the black material of the robe. It feels inexplicably cold. The frost runs up your arm, and soon your whole body begins to shiver. The rocks of the cave seem to take on a life all of their own. They whirl and twist and become something totally new. You realize that you are seeing a vision of an entirely different place. You see a man dressed in the robe you touch. Although the room is dark, he is unmistakably Sartan. He stands in front of a gigantic stone spire covered with magic runes. His attention is focused on a large rune at the center of the spire. Is this the Colossus? A nervous dwarf stands nearby, watching this man cast spell after spell at the rune. The wizard curses and yells as the blue fire strikes the stone, but without effect. I'm so mad. Whoops, the dwarf quakes with fear, but remains steadfast. He approaches the rune with a hammer and wedge out in front of him. Whoop. When he cautiously touches them to the rune, a massive explosion throws his body back like a rag doll. The man shrieks again, but in frustration. He curses the dwarf's limp body for its weakness. The strength of madness enters the wizard and, even while maintaining the spells that hold the spire's rune at bay, he simultaneously casts a mighty spell, too quick to memorize, upon the dwarf's corpse. A misty image of the dwarf appears, floating over the body. Its expression is one of pain and terror. It's as if something has taken a hold of it, in the manner of a rope wrapped around its foot, and is dragging it back into the corpse. When the spirit image has been totally subsumed by the body, the dwarf's eyes jerk open. The man in black screams at the dwarf to finish his task. Slowly, the dwarf drags himself to his feet, gathers up the hammer and wedge, and approaches the spire. He touches the tools to the rune again. Again, the magic reacts, but now the explosion only rips flesh from his bones, and somehow the dwarf manages to stay his ground. 5 blows of the hammer force a chunk from the center of the rune to fall away. Immediately, the rune's glow vanishes, and all of the other runes of the spires grow a bit darker. The man in black laughs as he picks up the piece of stone. He admires the rock in his hand as if it were some kind of relic. Then he turns his attention to the obvious hole in the spire's rune. With his free hand, he weaves an intricate spell that is too complicated to follow, and suddenly, the rune appears to be whole again. The strange pair exit the chamber, leaving the spire seemingly whole, but much darker than it started. So that was Caliph, right? That looked a lot like Caliph, maybe? And they just put an illusionary rune here onto the Colossus. Also, that back there looks important. I need that. What? The scene shifts. Now you see the same man seated on a throne. He holds a scepter which has, as its headpiece, the same chunk of stone from the spire. Others in his court display obvious fear of their ruler and keep quite a distance from him. This man seems to prefer it. You see no sign of the dwarf. Oh, so this is how he gets his Scepter of Disintegration? They look so goddamn same. Another scene. The wizard is much older. He is handing the scepter to another younger man whose face bears a close resemblance to that of that wizard. You can see the avarice and longing in his eyes, and the reluctance in the eyes of the wizard is in black. After the younger man has snatched the scepter away, he takes no further notice of the older wizard, who slowly walks off. Now you see the old wizard in this very cave. He stands on the rock floor alone. The madness in his eyes is overwhelming. He murmurs to himself for a while. You catch only the mouthings of a few words. "They'll never find me," and "must never bring me back. Never." His hands wave aimlessly in the air, but then you begin to see the blue traces of a spell. Soon the rune construct is completed. It flies into the body and explodes in flames. The wizard thrashes a bit, but in short order is no more than a pile of ash. Surprisingly, the robe he wore has been left untouched by the flame. Nothing happens for a while. Then you realize that the visions have ended, and that you're looking at the same scene, only thousands of years later. The robe lies in the same place, covering the ashy remains of the old wizard. Tentatively, you pick up the robe, but no further images haunt you. So, this old wizard straight up killed himself so he couldn't get brought back. I learned a new spell? Self-immolation? Okay. Let's cast that on Haplo. Like an artist, you carefully draw the rune structure in the air. It floats close and slips inside your chest. Instantly, it feels as if your heart's on fire. You scream and scream until the fire eats away your lungs and throat. After that, you don't have much to scream about. Or with. Blah. I just wanted to see. Right, undo. Okay. The robe is interesting. It kept saying it was like, it felt cold. I wonder if it actually would help me resist the heat of this lava world. I'm gonna wear it. You slip the black robe over your body. Although the back is rather torn, from the front, you cut an imposing figure. 10 points! So that's good. The cave is much larger than it appears from the outside, but is crammed full of Sartan refugees. The dog happily runs up to you. You run up to Balthazar, eager to discuss the amazing vision you've just experienced. Balthazar!
I just had an incredible vision when I picked up this black robe. What do you think it means?
A vision? Tell me about it.
Ah, dude, it was sick.
This is amazing. You've just experienced the life of our first dynast, Clitus I. It answers quite a few questions I've had about his rise to power and his reign. It also answers many questions about our current situation.
Can you interpret the bit about Clitus's grab for power?
I would be happy to. What would you like to know?
Why?
Why did he do all of this?
I believe that to be a member of Abarak's council, the only requisite was a mastery of magic.
That's
This
it?
implied intelligence, but not necessarily sanity. Clitus was clearly insane, if not before his play for power, then afterward.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Barry.
Let's see.
Can you tell me exactly what happened to the Colossus?
The Colossus is the source of Abarak's magic. It is what warms the stone, melts the ice, and feeds water throughout the world. It was an unparalleled marvel, by far the greatest of the ancients' achievements. It contained so much power that it's easy to see why Clitus lusted after it.
I bet. Yeah.
What did he do by removing a chunk of the rune?
It was much like taking a chunk of flesh from your body.
Oh, okay.
The magic sealed inside of the Colossus started to leak out, like blood from a vital wound.
What was the rune that he was battling with?
It was a containment rune. The spell was a cap for the Colossus's magic. It sealed the spells inside to keep the magic from flowing out, so that the Colossus would last forever.
So that boa just got uncorked. That seems bad.
What did he do at the end, before he left it?
Clitus was intelligent. He knew that people would see the Colossus with a huge chunk missing from the containment rune and realize something was amiss, so he placed an illusion upon it. Now the Colossus looks normal, even feels normal, but the hole is still there, the rune is still broken, and magic continues to flow.
Oh, well, my dog is smart enough to know that it's fake, so... Psh.
Can the Colossus be fixed?
That's an interesting question. I suppose it could. If the rune were reconnected, it would begin to function again. The spell would hold in the magic as it is supposed to. I don't know if the Colossus has enough magic left at this point to support Abarak anymore, but at least it wouldn't lose anymore.
So, kill Clitus, get his scepter, shove the scepter stone back into the Colossus.
The original fragment, if it were replaced, would do this. Actually, it wouldn't have to be the original fragment. Anything that had the missing line that fit into the hole would reconnect the rune.
I got these rune
complete
bones.
Is the important element, not the composition of the rock. If something with a fragment shape were placed inside the hole, the containment rune would reactivate.
All right.
Enough about this.
Very.
Let's see. Yeah, tell me about the scepter.
Tell me about the Sceptre of Rulership.
After Clitus took the chunk from the Colossus, he fashioned a scepter and used the chunk as a headpiece. He brandished the finished product at the council and demanded a crown. They caved in almost immediately.
You know, under threat of being disintegrated.
How did it get its power?
When the chunk was removed from the Colossus, the containment rune was broken. Magic began to seep from it, much like blood from a wound. It was always Clitus's intention to draw magic from the wound for his own purposes. He found that he could focus this power through the piece of the Colossus that he possessed. That is why he fashioned the scepter, using the fragment as the headpiece.
A brilliant son of a bitch.
Is there any way to counter the scepter?
That's like asking if there is any way to defeat the Colossus. In a
I don't
sense,
know, man.
it is the same.
I'm new here.
The scepter draws upon the Colossus's power. It cannot be overcome.
Just asking a question. You gotta
Although
treat me like I'm dumb.
necessary to overcome the scepter if it were rendered useless. This is just a wild thought. But the scepter focuses the power of the Colossus that is leaking from the broken containment rune. If the rune were completed and the containment spell resumed working, the scepter couldn't draw upon the magic. It would be useless.
So I actually need to, rather than taking the stone from the scepter itself, that's not important. Just the runes. I could use whatever stone in there, reseal the Colossus, and nullify the scepter, and just beat the shit out of Colossus for poisoning me.
All of this speculation is worthless as well. You can't render the scepter useless without completing the containment rune. You can't complete the rune without replacing the headpiece inside the Colossus, and you can't get the headpiece without rendering the scepter useless. A vicious circle.
I could do it.
Let's talk about something else.
Watch me, bitch.
Well,
Yeah, what's
Can you explain why Clytus ran away at the end?
I have a theory. After he passed the scepter on to his son, it was only a matter of time until he passed away, either naturally or at the hands of one of his many enemies. He decided to come here, to a secret cave where he could hide forever. Clytus entered and decided upon a small chamber for his final resting place. He cast an illusion spell upon the entrance in order to keep everyone out. Even if someone found these caverns, they wouldn't penetrate his inner sanctum. He had reasons to want not to be discovered.
probably all that necromancy?
At the very end, he cast a self-immolation spell. This is surprising, but not totally unexplainable. I believe that Clytus actually feared resurrection more than death itself. By destroying his remains, even before he was dead, he assured himself that he would never be raised. That's why you found a pile of ashes inside his robes, which were fairly intact. The self-immolation spell destroys the body of the caster, but nothing else.
That's handy.
It appears that Clytus wanted to minimize the chances of anyone finding and raising him. But even so, his actions seem extreme. His remains were completely destroyed. Why did he bother hiding in these forsaken caves guarded by an illusion spell? I wonder if he was hiding anything else.
Maybe this book?
I found a book lying alongside of Clytus. It claims that necromancy is forbidden, and that for every person raised, another shall die untimely.
That is the final answer, the one I have been dreading my entire life. Necromancy is forbidden. Of course. You say that for every person brought back, another dies untimely? This is what we have termed the plague. We have unwittingly been killing ourselves for centuries.
Whoopsie
and we have
doodle.
done so at the command of a long-dead maniac. How could we have been so blind?
Balthazar stops and sobs.
We have to change.
But he gets over it.
We have to put things right. I shall stop the practice of necromancy with my people, but it's only a start. We have to overthrow Clytus. We have to tell everyone.
Yeah, let's do that. That sounds awesome. Let's overthrow him.
Do you know how I could get to the Colossus?
The Colossus is located in the middle of the catacombs in the foundation of Clytus's palace. It's said that only the descendants of Clytus I are shown the way through. No one else is allowed in. Even if you were able to sneak back into the palace, I can't imagine how you would find your way to the center of that maze. Besides Clytus, there's no one living who can show you.
Bet my dog could.
That's all I need to know.
As you wish.
Alright, well. That was a lot. Okay, so. Now having all that information. Am I still wearing this? Where? I'm already wearing it. Good. If anyone sees me, I'll look spooky. Guess we'll go back. Wait. The clock tower. Didn't the statue come out holding the thingy? You step up to see the dead nanny. Oh, good, you're with me again. All right, come on, little lady. Hey, you're dead too. Hold on. Enter the clock tower. Let's climb up. Oh. That's it. So it's like a replica of the headpiece. That's how I fix it. I take this headpiece and just take it. That way, instead of using the actual scepter, this is close enough. And I can get that by grabbing it with the headpiece. Take headpiece. The headpiece of the scepter is held firmly by iron tongs. You can't budge it by hand. Can I vice it? Hold on. Loosen. Put the vice in the headpiece. The vice won't fit in between the tongs of the scepter while it's open. Loosen. Loosen. On the scepter? Damn, I really thought I had something going there. The vice won't fit in between the tongs. Or do I need to tighten it first and then put it on there? It's kind of worded weirdly. Oh, there it goes. What? I figured I had to loosen it, put it on, then tighten it. Okay, there we go. You shove the vice in between the tongs, holding the headpiece in place. It's a snug fit. Good. Take it? Nope. Okay, hold on. Scepter. Now can I take the headpiece? Nope. Tighten it more. Loosen it. You twist the screw, and slowly the tongs of the scepter begin to wrench apart. Oh, okay. I'm actually like peeling it back. After quite a while of intense effort, the stone headpiece falls from the tongs clutches to the metal platform before. Yoink! Hell yeah! The wedge-shaped headpiece is carved from smooth black rock. On the flat end is a single graven line. Alright, cool. Can I take this back? You'll never be able to pull it free. Alright, well, we had a good run. Cool, so now I have that. Oh, my good boy joined me up with me again. Oh, I lost the old lady somewhere. Hold on. Shit. Where'd she go? Hey. Come with me.
Would you know?
Okay, so now I just need to find... It wasn't... Which book was this? Sorry. It's been a week since I played, so I need to refresh myself. This is Balthazar's book. Did he mention where to find the Colossus in here? What if I should have given him his book back? Blah, 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 blah. This is where I got possession. Here's the Unravel Illusion spell. There's the Colossus. Blah, 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 blah. Skimming through. Yeah, Artemis, the nanny. Yep. There's something back in his cave. Or his tower. Alright. Not the most helpful book. But I also have the children's book. This is what the nanny was reading. 4-in-1. Get that snake. The day. The little ones. Let's check his house again real fast. The butler. Door's already unlocked. Good. Open. Wait, what? Open the doors. Is there anything else in here? No, I guess not, huh? Upstairs? This is where the nanny was. It was weird and creepy. Oh. Well, the old lady's standing here. That's important. I got an idea. I got an idea on how to handle the snake. But I'm going to save it for the next episode because this episode went long. I lost track of time. Sorry. Sometimes you just have too much fun. You lose track of time. That's exactly what happened here. All right. Damn. So what did we learn? Don't fuck with necromancy. It's bad for everyone's health. And self-immolation is kind of tight, though. All right, well, that's going to do it for me. Again, I really appreciate you guys watching. I hope you, this is what a fun playthrough. Having such a good time. All right. As always, thank you guys so very much for watching. See you next time.